Okay, good morning, everyone from Penang. I'm in Penang, Malaysia. Jane Xian is with me. She's in Taipei in Taiwan. And Harshita was here a moment ago with her webcam. She's in India, in Delhi, New Delhi. And you're welcome to stay here. And we like to have faces on the screen. And let's see, we have Michael Birch has joined us, and also Rosemary Ribera Ferrier, and Carol Phelps Ogden is here as well. And we're not crowded right now, so you're quite welcome to be here. So I'm Vance Stevens, and as I said, I'm in Penang, Malaysia. Hello, Michael. How are you? And this is the Best of EVO 2020. It's an event that was scheduled in TESOL in Denver, which unfortunately had to be canceled. And so anyway, this is also a Learning Together event. I host Learning Together. And let's see, let me start a screen share here so that I can show you some of these things as I'm talking. Let's see, where is Learning Together? Let's be over here. Okay. This is Learning Together. It's this is what I put up last night. There's an audio recording from our session last night. This is at learningtogether.net. I'll put this in the chat since we're recording now. I'll just put this in the chat. So here it is. That's the link for our recording last night. There's introductory material. I'll have a table of contents up here later on. That's just the audio. You can hear that if you want. And there's also the video from last night down here. I put all this information also in the Best of EVO document that we all share. That's this one. I've got these navigations all over the place in that document. And that's the table of contents. And this is what we're doing today. We're doing the Best of EVO 2020, not canceled, but moved online. And let's see, where are we now? We're on Saturday, April 4th, and it's almost 10 minutes till 2 a.m. Here's our schedule for today. We actually didn't have anyone fill in. I think we had something there, but it got moved. And I know why. I had thought Heike was going to present at 2 a.m. and I scheduled her there. And then now it was 2 p.m. So we rescheduled that for this afternoon, but no one took the slot. So we have Harshita going to talk to us about getting online as a teacherpreneur. And Rosemary is going to talk to us about tools for student collaboration, Padlet. And she was supposed to be a moderator, but situation in Bolivia prevented her from doing that. So she's going to talk to us from a participant perspective and how she went ahead and participated in the course despite not being able to moderate as planned. And then Judy Wong and Cheryl McCoy are going to come on and talk about teaching EFL to young learners. So everybody gets 20 minutes, but if you go 25 or so, we're not going to be upset. So just keep an eye on the time. We'd like to wrap up by 4 UTC. And also, we would like to have time for questions. So if people want to ask questions, this is a small crowd right now, you're quite welcome to open your mic and talk to us. And also, though, if you're not talking to us, please mute your mic. The 57 people last night, 56 of them were very good about that. And and I just had to mute anybody I heard sounds from, so it was not a big problem. So anyway, it worked very well. So we're trying to be open and have conversations with presenters if we have that leisure. So this is our presentation just about what EVO is about. I don't know, Jane, do you want to walk us through it? we did some of it last night. Maybe we could skip quickly over what we did last night. We talked about this last night, where EVO came from. So it's on the recording from before.
Mm-hmm.
I think Christine was here and talked to us about this. So anyway, there's the information for the record.
Yep,
Shall I skip?
there's
Mm-hmm.
1,315 participants from 72 countries, and who joined us this year. And the call for proposal will be out on June 22nd, and the deadline is September 13th if you're thinking about submitting a proposal. And next year's EVO would be during January 9th and February 14th, five weeks.
We have to work on Valentine's Day? Okay. Anyway, yeah, and that's at evosessions.org or evosessions.pbworks.com, whichever you prefer. And maybe I could put this, I'll put that link in. That's how you find out all about EVO.
So I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you go back to that slide?
Yes.
Sorry, I could type this in chat, but
back one. Nope. Sorry, I'm trying to get back.
So it's where it said call for proposals.
Mm-hmm.
22nd, September 13th. Is that 2020?
That's let's
That's
see.
2020. Yeah, that's 2020. That's a mistake.
It's a call.
Yeah.
Call.
Good point.
Yeah.
We'll
Let me
fix
change
that.
really quick.
You didn't see that. Okay. Yeah, I can fix that. I'll stop the share and go into that presentation and erase that little glitch.
No,
You've done it already.
Is it done?
No.
Is it? Nope.
I'll put in the link to the
Okay.
EVO sessions.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yes, for pointing that out. Okay, so anyway, I just put in the text chat the link to EVO sessions. And by the way, all this, if you go to our big document, the tinyurl.com slash best 2020 EVO, the one that probably got you here, you'll find all of these. You'll find all of this information, all these links. So let me see. Okay, gotta hit the share button. Nope. What happened there? It's not refreshed. Go back and refresh and see if I can get that to come on. Oh, because I'm presenting? Maybe. Okay, no. Oh, I'll change it. 2020. Okay, I got it. All right. So back to the share. So this is the way we work here, folks. We're very informal, especially when we have a lot of time. Okay. Any other comments as we get going? Get back into the swing of things here. Okay, magic. I'll continue that presentation. There we go. There we are. So everything was fine all along, wasn't it? Okay, these are the people who are coordinating the EVO, Electronic Village Online. And I'm up at the top right, and Jane is 3 down on the left. And all these other people, you see this, by the way, if you go to evosessions.org, that's on that front page there. These are the people who organize EVO. These are all the 15 sessions, the logos for all the 15 sessions. I don't know, Jane, do you want to take over? Mm-hmm.
Well, yesterday, classroom-based research for professional development and also mentoring research, teacher research. They presented.
Yes. Actually, yeah, I can sweep ahead because these are all the sessions, all these link. I like that 15. I put that up there in the corner there. So all of these, if you go to this slideshow, which is linked in the big Google Doc, then you can link to all these, and you can link to them anyway in so many different places. This is what we did yesterday. We had all these sessions, and we had mentoring teacher research, we had TechnoClil, and we had Cepher. She called it Cepher versus assessment. Maha Hassan and Nelly told us about Moodle for teachers and tools for student collaboration. Now, Rosemary is going to talk to us today about Padlet, I believe. And this is what we're doing today. So it's the Ford of April. Okay, I'll go and fix that as well. So anyway, so we're going to have getting online as a teacherpreneur, and I believe Harshita is ready to go, and Rosemary will come next, and then I suppose maybe I should go and look and see if there's anybody waiting to get in, and I don't know, what else would you like to say? Anything else we need to say about EVO?
Well, I think we're ready to begin if there's more joining us in the waiting room.
I don't know. I'm just going to fix that. I'm going to fix that. Oh, you fixed it already. Saturday, April 4th. Well done. Okay. All right. So, yes, let me find the Zoom room over here. Zoom. No, I don't see anybody waiting to get in. So everybody's here. Okay. So it's just 6 of us today. Very small party.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk to Harshita. I was just, I'm quite interested in her work because she hosts something called codewizacademy.com, and I was just having a look at it. It's a place where she teaches coding. I'm quite interested in some of my presentations at conferences recently have been about using coding in language learning. So I'm sort of interested in that. I'm also interested in the fact that she is certified as a cybercrime investigator by ASCL India.
Wow.
I'd like to hear more about that. So maybe we can start off with that, and you can then take it away, Harshita. Yeah. Harshita Kapoor.
Thank you, Vance. So good morning, everyone from India. And here we are in the best of EVO 2020. This is the second year that I have offered this course and this session rather. And it was a success, as in most of the participants were able to get through with the tasks and complete the session. So it was a great learning with every participant. Each and every participant contributed to the session. So a big thanks to all the participants, basically. So what I do is I am the founder of Codewiz Academy, where I teach about coding. And so it's basically about teaching coding to beginners. Somebody who is a non-IT person, a novice in using technology. So that is where there has to be a bridge. When you are using technology in your everyday work, everyday life, and you need to know the basics of how things work. And that is my motto, that I want to empower everybody who is using technology to actually work more effectively and efficiently. Now, talking about cyber crime investigation, that was a certification that I did. And that gave me an insight into basically the networking part and the various laws and policies that govern the working of the internet, the data that floats, that was slightly technical, but overall it was about maintaining the security. And when you know how a hacker thinks, when you know how somebody with a malified intention would try to intrude into your privacy, then is when you get equipped to secure yourself. So that was majorly what it was. What are the essentials that you need to keep in mind as an end user? As you surf through the internet, as you use various platforms over the internet, and also offline, there are a host of vulnerabilities that float in the world. It could be online, it could be offline. Whether you are downloading something from the internet or you are just using a pen drive that you purchased from a market. So there could be any source through which there could be an infection floating around. So that is what uh, I learned about there. And yes, so through that, I was able to actually conduct various seminars for young learners, for school students, how parents and teachers need to be aware of their children, where they are, how they are. So, what all platforms they are using, because there is an aspect of cyberbullying which really haunts everybody today. What and again, there is an aspect of child psychology. What a child is going through when they are online. There are various emotional conflicts that a child goes through. So there are a lot of issues that we as teachers need to address. There has to be a bridge between you and your young learners. As a parent, as a teacher, you have to be available so that your children can confide into you. That's one very important aspect in today's social media life, the virtual worlds that we live in. So,
Yeah, I just put I don't know, are you familiar with Darknet Diaries? It's a very interesting Darknet Diaries. Yeah, it's I find it quite fascinating. It's a podcast, and it's uh, by someone who's into hacking himself, and he interviews a lot of other hackers, and you get so informed when you listen to this because they talk about, well, all the common tricks and the different people who do it for a living, either in the security side of things. But anyway, it's quite an interesting podcast. You probably would enjoy it.
sure.
Yeah. Are you going to do a screen share or anything like that with us? So if I could also pull up your.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I will just share.
And you're teaching HTML in your EVO session?
Yes, I was teaching in the EVO session. I was teaching about coding. So that was HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as well. Last year, we only had HTML and CSS. This year, I introduced JavaScript because I wanted to also introduce programming fundamentals. And so here it is, the EVO session that we had. I believe skilling is different from imparting knowledge, and each and every session in EVO, I feel, is mostly about skilling. That is sharing what can be implemented in real life, empowering the teachers, and what exactly they can use with their learners. So that is all about the EVO sessions that I personally feel. My objective of having this session was to help non-IT teachers become more independent in managing their website, and they should have an intellectual property of their own in the form of a website. When they own a domain name, that is a place where they can share knowledge and go beyond the boundaries. There are no limitations when there are no geographical limitations when it comes to teaching online. So how well you make use of the online world for teaching and reaching out to your prospective learners. There are people who want to learn, and how well you reach out to them, it's all about that. So the course objective was to share the working knowledge of internet, um, owning a domain name, administer and manage a WordPress website, add, modify content of various types on the website, maintain the website security, which is very important. Then was about the basic coding in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Um, then we talked about understanding the programming fundamentals. For this, we used JavaScript, and um, teachers were able to create a web page through code that was the code in HTML and CSS. And finally, there was a quiz that the teachers created in JavaScript, which is a great work. I mean, somebody who is absolutely not from an IT background, and within 5 weeks, if you're able to create an online quiz in JavaScript, it was a great sense of achievement for me, because it went very smoothly. So I think the participants were really great. So the prospective learners for this course were teachers who are already teaching online and teachers who want to teach online. So we started off with the introduction. Here we had a survey, the introductory survey. And in this survey, my sole intention was to understand the background that the teachers were coming from, the technology background, how elaborately they use technology in classroom teaching, and what is it that they are wanting to learn in technology, because it's an ocean of opportunities and options that you have. So what exactly does a teacher want or look forward to when they talk of teaching online? So just to get an understanding where they're coming from, I had this survey. So in week 1, we talked about working of the internet, and that is basically important not only because you are going to be working as a website owner and administrator, but also as an end user. When you know exactly what is going on behind the scenes, that helps you understand when you're working. It helps you become more precautionate of how things are working in the background. And then we talked about the IP address, TLD and subdomains, the top level domain and a subdomain. Now, these would sound like technical jargons, and what does somebody need to do with it? When is it mandatory to get into technicalities of the website, of the different technical jargons that we talk about? So I believe you need to know what is an IP address? How is it related to a domain name? What is a TLD, top level domain, and what is a subdomain? So when you look at a link, whenever you surf the internet, you look at a link, you get an understanding what is a subdomain versus what is a subfolder, and what is a root domain, so that you know what is the difference between hosting a website as a subdomain or as a primary domain that you would own. Then we talked about the protocols. What are the various protocols used for the transfer of data over the internet? That is HTTP versus HTTPS, and other protocols as well that are used. Um, then was about the WordPress.com server and a self-hosted server. So we worked with the free plan on WordPress.com, and because this was about starting off, this was about beginning to have your own website and getting accustomed with the dashboard, with the administration of a website. So for that purpose, we started off with the free plan, and that is the website that is hosted on the WordPress.com server. And the domain name that you get is also under the free plan or as a free domain. It is a subdomain of WordPress.com. It is not a root domain that you would get. So that is where the entire understanding comes in. In week 2, we talked about the introduction to database. So what is a database? Without getting into a lot of details, it was basically an understanding the misconception that a database would be required only when you have learners on your website. So if you are sharing knowledge, that is, if you're writing articles and sharing your blog posts, then you do not need a database. That was the misconception, because a database is required right from the beginning, right from the time when you host your website. So a database is not only the data about your users, but also the data of the website. That is, the data that is on the website, the media, and the content that you upload. Then was the introduction to WordPress Dashboard, through which you manage and administer the website, setting up theme, that is the layout of your website, understanding what is a plugin. We could not use the plugin because under the free plan, there is a limitation. You cannot add plugins, but yes, tomorrow if you want to upgrade to a paid plan, so what is a plugin and how would it enhance the working of your website? Then was about adding the content, various types of content that we added, and the website security. What is GDPR? What are the various policies and regulations that the website needs to be compliant of? What are cookies? Now, cookies are small programs, chunks of code that are stored on your system. What are the different types of cookies? Now, as an end user also, when you would be surfing a website, you would come across a notification that the website uses cookies, and you have to accept that before you can continue surfing or using the website. Why is that so? What is it that is being stored on your system that it is mandatory to give your consent to the website that yes, they can store cookies on your system? So we looked into all those aspects, and then and yes, one more thing was about website security was that what kind of data do you store on your system, on your website? That has to be absolutely transparent. What data are you storing? Who are you sharing it with? What is the purpose of storing the data? you have to make the end user aware absolutely transparently of the entire working of your website. What is the sole intention of saving data? So that is one very important aspect. Then also about malware detection and spamming, which is quite common when you have a website. You have to be sure that you curtail spamming and access to any malafide person. What are the various security precautions that you can take? Then in week 3, we looked at the coding languages of the internet. What are the various languages? Indeed, there are a host of languages available used for coding for the internet, but we looked into HTML and CSS, hypertext markup language, and cascading style sheets, using which within a week's time, teachers were able to create their first web page. So initially, it could sound a little daunting because, you know, you do not come from an IT background, or this is not your core subject. But once they learned and they got through, I think everybody enjoyed it. And that was a sense of achievement that everybody gets, you know, when you sail through um, a task and you achieve it at the end. In week 4, we looked into programming fundamentals, that is storage, conditional constructs, looping, and various operators that are used, which was spread over 2 weeks, week 4 and week 5. And here we introduced JavaScript, displaying a message through JavaScript on a web page. What is the difference between a static website that is designed through HTML and an interactive website, which would have aspects of JavaScript? And how do you add user interaction on your website? So that was through JavaScript, which was also done through writing a program for a quiz. And so here it was the survey. The survey, we had close to 48 participants in the session. And most of them came with more than 10 years of experience. And they used technology in a minimalistic manner. In most of them used it in a minimalistic manner. And then almost 72% of them thought that if they knew technology, they would get along better with their learners. Because we know that today's learners are netizens. They are born with technology. So, and maybe they are well versed, better versed than us in technology. So one thing more that I realized was how to not be scared of the modern day learner who is better equipped with technology, is to make them participant in the entire teaching and learning process. So we cannot go along with the conventional kind of working and teaching. As teachers, we need to involve them more into the process. And how well we involve them, the more effective your teaching would be. It cannot go on as a monotone. And yes, so most of them wanted to, almost all of them wanted to enhance their technology skills. And maybe a few felt that they would invest their time and effort only if they knew what this technology would help them with. Because I understand teachers have a lot on their platter, and it is wise that you know how well that specific technology would help them in teaching. Only then they would want to invest their time and effort into it. And what areas would you like to be well equipped with? So that was about learning management system, coding, using various technology for making quality content. And basically there were other responses related to learning coding and creating apps. And I absolutely agree, because when you are working as a teacher, you know it best. What is it that you want? What are your requirements? And if you are equipped to create apps by yourself, then that is going to help you in your everyday working, of course. And then every week we had a lesson plan, which was written for the beginner level users. Then we had live sessions, 2 live sessions per week. There were presentation resources on SlideShare. There was a discussion forum every week where we did collaborative learning. We shared the different views that all the participants had about the various technological concepts that we were talking about in the respective week. And then there were external links for supplementary reading if somebody wants to get deeper into the entire topic. And there were badges every week for successfully completing the task. And at the end, there was a certificate of completion, of course. These were the platforms that were used. The course was hosted on moodleforteachers.org. Thanks to Dr. Nelly for that. And not just that, I have to thank her for a lot of things. And then was the Facebook group, where it was a secondary platform to connect, a SlideShare, and a YouTube channel where we had a playlist for all the tutorials and the live session recordings that we had. So the understanding by the end of the session was that to have an online presence, you need to have a website and a blog. Because that would be a place where your learners can be redirected to whenever they want to reach out to you, they want to see what you are working on. And it is an easy platform for you to curate the entire work that you have, be it on different platforms, but you can just have one place where you can curate all of your work. And having more than one online platform is always handy. Which is why we had a Facebook group, which is a private group. Then coding basics are helpful. It could be a slight learning curve, but it is achievable and rewarding. So as per the participants' response, the course was helpful and the layout was friendly. So they wanted to learn more and they found it to be beneficial. They wanted that it should have different levels so that, I'm sorry, they can continue to learn further. That was one of the feedbacks. And I really want to thank Dr. Nelly, because she's my mentor and she has given me ample opportunities to share my little knowledge with everyone and supported me all throughout. And thanks to Vance and Jane, who have very swiftly and smoothly helped and supported me for getting through this and managed everything so wonderfully. And to the entire EVO team, because it's a group of fantastic teachers and I really feel privileged to be amongst them. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. The thanks go to you because everybody in EVO does all this work, and it's, you know, we're more than a sum of our parts. So
Thank you.
yeah. So anyway, well, I've always been interested in your course, and I hope I get to take it one time. Actually, Jane and I were chatting. I thought it would be kind of fun to get you onto Learning Together to talk about your work sometime. Maybe I'll just do a quick share here. You were asking me about it earlier when we were talking. Oh, by the way, this happens to be the first thing that comes up is the Darknet Diaries. This is a podcast where you can learn a lot about hacking if you're interested in that. But the reason I came here was for Learning Together. And I'm just popping over to that site. I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. This is Learning Together. Oh, this is, oh my goodness, this is something I haven't saved yet. Okay, let me just go to it in some other way because, okay, sorry about that. I'll have to go and check later if I should save that or if I just had it open somewhere else. I'm getting pretty busy in my multitasking. Okay, so anyway, Learning Together is at learningtogether.pbworks.com, and it's also at learningtogether.net, and there are links in and out of all these places. And to get a full program of our upcoming events, there's a link there, but there's also a tiny URL for it. So the tiny URL is tinyurl.com/learningtogether, and that shows you what's coming up. So for example, this is what we're doing now. And there's also a link here to its archive, which I've put up. Basically, let's see, if you go, if I pop up to the top of this page, a table of contents. You were asking me what's the difference between Google Docs and PBWorks. PBWorks is the nice thing is the sidebar, which you can have a lot of information fronted there. Of course, in Google Docs, you can get a table of contents. You can do that in PBWorks as well. So anyway, basically, you can see what's coming up at Learning Together. So anybody who is presenting here in the Best of EVO would be more than welcome to do a presentation. There's something I've started called Talon. I might have to show it to you later because it's not just handy right here, but Talon is teaching and learning in isolation, and it's something that a few of us have, maybe I will, I'll just try it and see if I go to, oh, here by the way is the recording from last night. Now these are all being recorded. I'll just show you, let's see, oh, it's probably going to be best if I go over here and get it from my recent files. These are a little slow right now. Talon, where is Talon? Teaching and Learning Online. I don't see it there, so I'll put it here. That's it. So this is something else that everybody would be more than welcome to join us in. It's just something we just started, this isolation having come on us quite suddenly. So actually we started it just at the end of last month. But here's a Google Doc, which also has a table of contents. And tomorrow we have, not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, Michael Coughlin and Barbara Dew and some other people are meeting. We're going to do this every Monday. But if you want to join us, you can just go to that link, Talon 2020. I couldn't get Talon. Talon was taken. So tinyurl.com/Talon 2020. If you go there, then you can join, request access. There's an explanation of that here, why I don't like to leave things open to just anybody to edit, because you can't go back. They're not credentialed and you can't go back and change things in case you have to. So I ask people to join, but when you join, you can just write yourself in anywhere here, and then we archive it. I'll host it as long as you can do it in my waking hours, which are about 2 a.m. UTC to up to 1400 UTC. That's 10 in the morning here to midnight. If you go to, 1400 is 10 o'clock at night, but we'd end at 11 o'clock. So anyway, if you want it to be in there, I'll host it for you, as long as we're still in isolation. So I'm not going anywhere else, looking for things to do. So let's see. Jane had some questions. She had a couple of questions. You want to ask Harsh your questions? Mm-hmm.
I think my first, well, I like to learn how to create a quiz in JavaScript, and we'll do that sometime. This other question is about, like, how does the university block us from playing multiplayer games? Because I was trying to go on a Minecraft multiplayer server, and the university just does not allow us to do that. Is that for security issues?
For having multiplayer games. So yes, that could be a reason, because when we talk about multiplayer games, then you need to give access to the server, and there could be networking issues. There could be networking issues, as in when students collaborate, because they have to be connected together for a multiplayer game, and there can be intrusion into the network. Probably that could be one of the reasons, but I'm not sure why. What would be the exact reason for not having that allowed?
I think I need to go through like an official application process to get it to work. So I'm gonna find time to,
because you will have to give access to the network.
Okay.
And you also were wondering about cookies.
Oh yeah, so why cookies? And yeah, and are they safe? Are we safe if we clicked accept?
So exactly, that is the point, because this came in as a mandatory rule after GDPR was implemented. And what happens is there are two types of cookies that we have, session cookies and permanent cookies. So session cookies, what are cookies? Basically, cookies are certain software which are saved onto your system, which store your data when you're surfing the website. So what session cookies does is they store your username and password, so that while you are surfing on that website, that becomes a seamless experience. As you are surfing, even if you get disconnected and you get reconnected within a few seconds, your username and password still is there on your system, and still you are logged in. While there was a dropout of, probably because of the network issue or something. And so that is what the session cookie is all about. Once you close the session, that is when once you close the tab or the browser window, the session cookie is deleted from your system. So that is nothing to worry about. The main part is the other kind of cookies that you have, which are persistent cookies, which are stored on your system. And what happens is, while you are surfing a website, now the website owner wants to store data about your surfing pattern. For example, where all did you click on the website? How much time have you spent on a specific part of the website? All those aspects need to be stored so that the website can cater to your requirement. For example, you go onto an e-commerce website and you are shopping for a specific article. Now you have spent some time on searching for a specific category and specific item, and then a specific product. So all this data is stored in that persistent cookie. Now, next time when you log into that website, they will somehow show you an offer or reflect that specific item or as a pop-up or on the top of the list that this is what you served about in the previous session. That is where these could be misused for remarketing purposes. And this is basically used for displaying ads. Now, suppose you have visited a number of websites for traveling and you are planning to travel to India. Then you would probably see AdWords on whichever website is AdWord enabled. You would see AdWords related to traveling to India, various packages that are being offered on various websites and stuff like that. So that is all done through these persistent cookies. A lot of data about your surfing pattern is being stored. That also includes a kind of personally identifiable data, that is your IP address, the sessions. So that is the IP address and the sessions that are being saved, that can be manipulated. So that is why you have to be careful which website do you accept to have to have cookies saved from. Exactly. So when we talk about an LMS, such as Moodle, they have cookies enabled wherein they track your login time and your the session that you were logged in for, the duration that you were logged in for. Now, when a learner enters the website, they are working on the website where all they were surfing, all that is used through cookies and then saved on as logs, your surfing logs. And then as a teacher or an instructor, you can go into those logs, check the learning pattern of your learners, and give them a personalized learning according to their requirement. Because once you understand that there is a task properly, for example, that you have given them, and they have spent n number of hours on that specific task, yet they have not been able to complete it, that means they require some hand holding. And that is how you can understand their learning pattern, what specific topic needs more attention and more of support from your end, maybe. So yes, so that can help in understanding learning pattern. You're right.
Thank you.
Thank
Wow.
you. Yeah, we got quite a lot of information there. We really appreciate that. That was a wonderful explanation. I've never heard anybody explain cookies in that way. I like the chocolate chip ones, personally. Okay, so, well, Harshita, thank you very much. Rosemary was here just a moment ago. She's still in the chat. So maybe we can get her to come on. She's going to, there she is. Hi, Rosemary, how are you? You need to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself. There's a, maybe I can do it for you. No, you have to do it yourself. You have to find the microphone icon and there you go.
I forgot I was muted.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm here not as a moderator, but as a learner of the fantastic session led by Dr. Nelly Dios. I never know how to say her last name, how to pronounce it. I call her Super Nelly because she does everything at the same time in such a great way. She's just marvelous. So, as a student, I can...
Rosemary, can you tell us who you are and what your connection is to the EVO?
Yes, I am I discovered EVO in 2013 when I was granted, you know, a free trip to the TESOL convention, but I couldn't go because they wouldn't give me a visa. So I stayed and I tried my best to participate, and I found EVO. Oh my God, I signed up for so many courses, and that was such a mistake, of course, from the learner's point of view. And the next year, I didn't finish any of them. The following year, I not only took 2 courses, but I moderated one. I did the ebook, crafting ebooks with Shelley, and yeah, teachers as designers.
That was a cool course. That was in Google Plus Communities, was it?
Yes,
and
it was, yeah.
Uh-huh.
When
that was one of the first times that
was here.
Yeah, that introduced me to Google Plus Communities. That was a cool course.
It was awesome because I not only became a writer, because I'm an overachiever. I finished an ebook, actually, not just the first chapter as they pretended. And I was moderating that session as well, the EVO ebook. And it was a treasure, you know, for my professional development and for my networking, professional networking. So I had to help. And I tried. Oh, I helped Nelly also the first year on a international writing exchange. That was my first experience as a moderator, then with Shelley. And I'm dying to, I took Harshita's course as well. Is it about a teacherpreneur, something like that?
Yeah, becoming a teacherpreneur, coding, basically coding.
Yes. I did not finish it because I didn't understand coding very well. And I had one more session that I was moderating. So that's my experience with EVO, and I am honored to be here presenting as a learner because this year I was not able to fulfill my duties as a moderator with Super Shelley. And
Super Nelly.
Of course, yes.
Also
Sorry,
Super Shelley.
I'm going to start. Yes. So, as we all know, Shelley is super productive, of course. And let me first give you a link, okay? And she does her best. And this year, she offered tools for student collaboration. I guess Nelly is a bit of a future visionary because that is just what we were going to need in these times of crisis. So I took that session, and as a good student, I want to show that I can apply and use the very final tool that she instructed us in. The first one was VoiceThread. The second one was the Google Docs and Google Forms and Google Slides. And the final one was Padlet. And I believe that I fell in love. I had used Padlet before, but never, ever at this level. So since I fell in love, really fell in love maybe with Padlet, I just went ahead and decided to present about it. So here is if you have a QR reader, or I will just give you the, well, my controls, okay. Sorry. How was it? Alt H. Yeah, I learned shortcuts for Zoom. So I will share with you a link to a Padlet that I made for this presentation. You could please go to this address and we will start collaborating. As soon as you get in, you can say hi. It's going to be reflected here.
Okay, I have to copy the link. Let's see.
Did I?
I can put
Didn't
it.
I?
Yeah, no, well, no. It just doesn't link. They don't link automatically. You have to copy it and then paste it.
Ah.
Use the camera on your
Why?
phone.
I did that, but it didn't. It took a while. Let's see. Actually,
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a shortened version here. Okay.
No, I couldn't get it from my camera on my phone.
It's still, mine is still.
You cannot scan that one because that's the link.
Yeah, and now I'm trying to find a browser in all the windows I've got open here. You know, actually, I think if I did it,
yeah, I have the same problem here.
What can I do? Let's see.
It's moving very slowly, like it's
okay, I will just shorten it once again, and that's what I will share. Okay.
That's TTVNHR2. Okay, I can. Get
yeah,
that
that's it.
Okay.
If you can copy and paste that into.
Yes,
chat,
I will.
Thank you.
Nice. Sorry. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that'll make it a little easier.
There you go.
Okay, so
Yay.
it's
My pleasure.
TTVNHR2.
I'm sorry. Did you have enough time? Well,
I
it
did.
is.
Oh,
Mhm.
we're in. Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're great. So just say hi.
Okay.
So we know.
Do we need to log in?
No, nothing. It's open. It's public.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just start another one.
Yes.
Right here.
You click on the plus.
Hi.
And how do we get our name there?
This is Jane.
Just add something to the board.
Okay. It's I've started something, but I can't seem to get it to add.
And how do I?
Just write it, and that's it. Yay!
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Vince, you're here. Jane is here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That's it.
Very good. Just click here, and that's it. Oh, I forgot to do. Here. I forgot to do something. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, where are the controls? Here.
Michael got through to a YouTube
yes,
video. You guys can talk to us.
Go with that spotlight.
If anybody wants to take a mic, you're welcome to speak.
Spotlight, okay? There we go.
What did you find on YouTube?
Did you? Here you are. Good. I am just going to go ahead and change that so it shows your comments first, okay? So as you can see, I was not able to see your comments. But if I go here and I do that, that's it. New post position, there you go. All right. Now, next time you post something, it's gonna come up there. Haha, Vance, Jane, Jimmy, and Carol, perfect. So you are all here. As the coronavirus has us locked in lockdown, we need to teach from home. And that was a new experience for most of my peers, former peers, and they were about to lose it. We, of course, love technology, and we are EVO people. And I don't think you are facing any challenges. I thought we were going to have students here, but we are going to start. Okay, what do you think is challenging about remote teaching for those teachers who are not techies like us? What do you think? So I would please ask you to go to Google Images and look, don't say it, just look for a picture that portrays one challenge and post it on the board. So that's your task.
Oh, there's a, oh.
Yeah, there is a task. This is, we are collaborating.
Picture or YouTube video. Can I post YouTube?
No, just picture.
Just picture.
That portrays one challenge, just one. Like a word, like, I don't know, URLs.
One challenge.
Internet, whatever. I don't know. What challenges do you think the teachers who have never taught in line, what challenges do you think they face? And whenever you're ready, I am waiting for your pictures. Just pictures. Just go. Go ahead. Go to Google and Google a picture.
Okay. Perhaps. What kind of challenge?
Post it on the board, please.
Let's see. Let's see. And the board?
We copy the picture, or we post this link, or?
Just click on plus and you will, it's so intuitive that you cannot get lost.
Insert a file?
Just, well, you will find it. I'm pretty sure. Please. Oh, that's the challenge. Playing the guitar.
No,
that's not a challenge.
That's him singing about having to teach everything on Zoom. And
yes, that's just a picture, please.
Okay.
You know, since I learned about peer working and collaborative working, so that's what I'm trying to.
Oh, you mean
So,
challenges of teaching online?
yes, just one. What challenge do you think teachers? Okay, I'm not going to say anything. Love it. And then I will give you the next instruction.
Rosemary, can you see mine from Carol?
Yeah, is this one yours?
No?
Oh, I like that. That one.
Ah,
I don't
oh
know
my
what
God. Yes. Okay, I just want to show you what I got, you know, just for this presentation. I knew someone was going to post a picture like that. But this one has lights. It's cooler. Okay. Awesome. Do you all have pictures? Okay, I only have 1 and 2. Okay, to make things shorter, we are going to work with those 2. Okay, those who didn't post a picture, don't worry. Okay, you are going to guess what the challenge is. Ah, here we go. No, picture about one challenge.
Oh,
that was the instruction, yes. Okay. What is challenge? Look for a picture that portrays one challenge. Right? That was the instruction. I know, see? Now you are noticing what challenges your students might face when you teach them online. And that course made me realize that they might be native digital natives, but about educational technology, they know nothing. So it is even hard for us, teachers. So what was my mistake here? I should have asked one of you to read the instructions for me, right? And I should have asked a second student to paraphrase that, and or maybe CCQ, comprehension checking questions, okay? And you can do it all here. Okay, there we go. No picture. Okay, good. We're gonna work with what we have. Don't worry about it, okay? Good. So we have 2 pictures. We have this one, okay, from Michael. And please go ahead and comment about the challenge you think he is trying or he is trying to portray with this picture. Michael, don't say anything, please. Everyone else should do that, okay? Okay.
Frustration.
You have to.
The teacher is blind. Oh, okay. I see. We have to
Sorry.
write.
Okay, I'm just gonna have. Remember, this is about teachers. What challenges teachers face? It doesn't matter. That picture is perfect. So, from a teacher's point of view, comment on the picture. Okay. I know Michael was trying to portray students and not teachers, but anyways.
Well, it's odd actually, because I did Google for an image of a teacher.
Don't worry, I know, okay? It's yes, okay. Don't worry about it. What about that? teachers believe that teaching online is not complete because there is no human interaction. But I believe exactly the opposite. I think that that is the most human way of teaching, because as you look at the camera, each and every student are going to feel and perceive that you are speaking straight to them and just them. So that is going to make them feel great, better than in a classroom in which you cannot look at the same time, okay, to all your students. It's humanly impossible. So this is the most human way of teaching that I know. Then students are in their environment. You know, they are relaxed, no stress, and that means those neurons are ready and ready for, you know, synapses. And they love being online. At home, online, what could be better? So that's a natural way of teaching, as I understand it. Maybe you disagree, as many of European teachers who were taking this course, what was it? The British Council. Oh my God, 144 comments. 2 of them were positive. I hate it. I don't like it. No human contact. No, this and that and that. So maybe we need to expand EVO's frontiers next year to take in as many European teachers as we can, right? There you go. And Michael, I know, please tell me, what were you trying to portray as you understood it?
The search that I went for was actually frustrated online teacher. And then the image came up and I quite liked
frustrated online teacher, perfect.
The image of the student came up and I thought, well, I quite like this one.
No. It's perfect. You know, we are just like kids.
The students, potentially, as people transition, that they receive messages from so many people, and so perhaps just too much for him.
I love your image because it portrays teachers as a kid. I would change that for a baby, you know, trying to walk for the first time. And that's challenging. It is frustrating, but you really want to do it because that's why we are teachers. It's not because of the money. We all know that. But it is because we have to get our students to learn, to change, okay? And if we don't do that, we get frustrated. Okay, so up to now, have you learned what to do first when it comes to teaching online using Padlet?
Yes.
Great. So this was not taught on the course, but of course, you know, situations make us, I don't know, be creative. And I believe that this is a great way of teaching online, using a combination of Padlet, Zoom, or something alike. Okay, and they're both free.
Rosemary, I have a question.
Sure.
So is Padlock blocked in China? I have to use WeChat. I was using Zoom, but Zoom is blocked in China now.
Oh, it is? Wow.
It doesn't, well, Zoom has recently offered the platform, okay, the software for free to institutions. So if you work at an institution, just ask one of your managers to send a request, and all the teachers in your institution will have access to the full price Zoom version. By the way, that happened like a week ago, huh?
Oh, okay. No, I'm an independent private teacher.
You're a private teacher?
Yeah.
No, you can't. I had to, well, it was on sale for 1 day.
Okay.
Yes, half price. It was, I paid $7 for a month. Oh, yes, but I might be able to forward you the email with the code. Maybe you can still apply. Huh? I don't remember which was it. Okay.
You said that
So,
Padlet is free now. It's being offered for free.
they are offering the full version of Zoom that work for free.
Zoom.
To
Zoom.
No, Padlet is free. You have the paid version, of course, but the free one is the one I'm using now.
But with the free one, you only get one Padlet.
You get 4 now.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yes, it has changed a lot. You have no idea.
I see. Okay. Well, I was using it in January, February, and I only got one. But maybe they
you can
changed
create
it
up to 4. Here is my
okay.
dashboard. See?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you can see it, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I still have room for 1 more.
Okay.
There you go.
and you can delete them, of course. And oh,
of
by
course.
the way, when you delete them, if you want to preserve them, you can save them as PDF files or as images.
Yes, you can.
So
definitely,
if you're not using it, you can preserve. You can have an image.
Yes, and here you have, okay, a fully loaded YouTube playlist to Padlet and also Zoom, and it is here. It's on my YouTube channel. I would like to minimize this. Good. There you go. Of course, I have tools and Nelly's course, Zoom, apps, Google Slides, Padlet, tech tips for students. For you have to do nothing, right? Only if you can do better than these tutorials, then produce content. Otherwise, spend your time thinking about how is that you are going to engage those kids so that they look forward to get in contact with you again, to see you again, to have classes again. And well, I hope they fall in love with it. And we have no other option, okay, but to teach online. There you go, you have a lot. And I will actually open the playlist so you can add any other interesting videos that you might find. Okay.
And are these links in your template in the?
It's here. If you scroll up, you will see. There you go. It's right here.
Here in the chat.
Scan it or YouTube playlist.
Okay, the chat logs will be they are
Of course.
being recorded, and
Why not?
they're online. So
Yes,
we
of
have all
course.
those links there.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'll probably get around to that this afternoon because it's coming on 11. It's just 11 o'clock where I am right now in the morning, and Jane too. So
There you go, guys.
yeah.
Done. Did you know how to bring up the chat with shortcuts?
The chat with what?
Shortcut, keyboard.
Oh, shortcuts. Which chat?
You just press Alt-H, and there you go.
Alt-H, and what are you talking about, in Zoom or what?
Zoom.
Oh, in Zoom.
And then, of course, when you need to mute everyone, Alt-M, and just you. Or when there is an annoying or, I don't know, distracting, background noise, and to unmute the same, Alt-M, and then you are all unmuted.
Mm-hmm.
What about that?
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't like to, I appreciate people muting themselves when other people are talking, but of course, when I'm doing a Zoom meeting, I don't mute. I open the meeting so that anybody can come. When they come in, everyone is muted and their videos are off, but they can turn them on. So I like to have conversations in our.
Yes, yeah. It's because of the kind of meetings that you lead. Mm-hmm. But what about a teacher who has 40 chatty students?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, and that's my purpose here, to.
Yeah, and here again, that depends on your teaching style. I'm sort of a chaotic person, so I like chaos. I think people learn through chaos.
Good chaos.
Whereas if you're too controlling, you can cut the chaos, but you also
is chaotic. Okay.
Yes.
It is. So the more chaos that you can produce, and that's the good one, the produced chaos, not the one they want to do, but the one you make happen. Maybe you are talking about that, Dennis.
Well, I'm thinking about what George Stevens says about chaos. He thinks he likes in why he set up MOOCs that chaos is necessary for learning, and if when and MOOCs are chaotic, and he says he's found no research that suggests that it isn't good for learning. But of course, you have to have control over an environment, especially, like you say, it depends on who you're teaching. I think MOOCs are well adapted to people who are good learners. And if you have people who aren't good learners and you're being paid to get them to produce something on an exam, well, that's a slightly different situation. Maybe you don't want so much chaos. I've encountered a lot of teachers like that who try to reduce the chaos, and I wouldn't say that I learned a lot, but I certainly did learn to answer the questions on their exams.
Chaos is the best thing you can produce in your classes, of course, especially when teaching a second language, because that's when they will have to negotiate meaning,
yes,
and start producing. Yes, definitely, but not the chaos that students want to produce in our classes, like chatting with a friend, or I don't know, making noises like nah, and things like that, or just standing up whenever they want and interrupting you, or interrupting classmates, or making fun. Well, that's the different chaos. Now, that's why I said, I mentioned your produced chaos is the best chaos that could happen to education, especially in ESL, right? So imagine you are using Zoom, and of course, students are at home. They're comfortable. Maybe their mother is there and forgot he or she is actually learning, and she yells. Like, Michael, come here. Dinner is ready, or something like lunch is ready. You don't want to hear that. So that's why I taught you about the shortcut, the keyboard shortcut, Alt-M, to mute everyone. When you have something important to say, like instructions. And then Alt-M to unmute them. Okay, they will
That actually works. You can unmute them as well. Shall I try it now?
Yes, mute and unmute.
Okay.
Alt-M.
Let me try.
Of course.
Excuse some chaos. Okay. Alt-M. Rosemary is still unmuted. That didn't work. Alt-M.
Yeah, it's because I'm using my key.
I got it. Alt-M. Yeah, that worked. Alt.
Bravo, Vince.
Okay.
And do you know where is that you can actually, yeah. Do you know where is that you can find all those shortcuts? Right here.
Another link goes in the chat.
And no, here, see? Settings and keyboard shortcuts. You activate as many as you want. Switch to speaker view, gallery view. I have some of them. Yeah. Start and stop screen sharing, start and stop recording. There you go.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Nice to know where to find these things.
We need to be curious. That's the best thing.
And you need to have a need. That's where you really, I mean, there's something that came along called Zoom bombing that's suddenly become a problem, and it's starting to go, people are starting to attend to it. So that's how I learned how to have, how to use these, the waiting room. So I set up a waiting room here, and it's worked quite well, actually. And I can, if there were any problem, I could move people to it. Speaking of a problem, I think that Judy and Cheryl, possibly, I'm not sure, maybe they thought they were presenting at
I will just wrap it up
this afternoon. Yeah, sure, you can wrap it up, and then actually
I will wrap it up.
Yes. Okay.
I will wrap it up
after you wrap it up, we'll take questions from people.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. 1 minute. Let me go ahead and see you. Light and clear. Oh, wait. One more picture. Just one more picture. The second one. Okay. Where is it?
That's a video.
Yeah, it's down there.
That's pretty cool.
I need to refresh. Yeah, I just need to refresh it. Because I'm in Bolivia. My internet is not that reliable. So yes, the other one. Remember the one I will that looks like this, right? All right. There, that one. So, Carol, now with this picture, we can assign it as homework if you want, all right? So, we do the first one during the class, the online class, and we leave the second one for them to write whenever they want, but before the next class. And they will need to rate pictures as well. Here, you can give them, excuse me.
I can see that Carol is talking, but I can't hear anything. So
Carol, You need to unmute yourself.
No,
I'm
she's
sorry.
unmuted.
I was just standing by. What was the question?
We can, well, we see your mic is on, and
Yeah.
we thought you were trying to say something. So
I was waiting for an instruction.
Oh,
okay.
Yes, you could also have this. So students can, you know, rate pictures or whatever they find, okay? Like that.
Okay.
There you go, or comments and anything else. So you can assign that as homework and they will not feel it as homework. Right? It's fun, it's interactive, and you can use many other tools.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So I would take any questions from you right now.
Yeah,
I saw that video. Oh my God. It was amazing.
And I mean questions or comments about just anything, because whatever Harshita said, or what you think about EVO, we can take 15 minutes if you like, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and we can talk about anything you want. So
Yeah, Michael Birch also posted this Israeli mom ranted about online learning. I don't know if you've seen this video. Right, it's so funny. You have to see it because right now, because of the lockdown, teachers are like managing everything online, and they have like they print out like a whole day schedule, like a school schedule, and ask their kids to follow that schedule. And this mom has 4 kids, and she's like ranting like how many messages she gets every day. She has 4 kids, all those messages, she couldn't handle 4 kids with 2 laptops, and they're fighting for their laptops. And one of the music teacher was sending them like the what's it called, um
sound files,
music score. Yes, music score. And she said she doesn't know what to do with that music score. She doesn't teach music, she doesn't know how to play. And now she's having to deal with everything. And she was urging the teachers to relax. It's fine. Don't give the kids so many tasks. And she just couldn't handle it. So it's not just teachers who are very like frustrated teaching online, but parents parents as well.
Jane is being extremely polite. This lady says, "Stop it! Stop it! I'm going crazy! I can't deal with it anymore. You don't know what you're doing. My kids are not learning. Nobody is okay. And this stress and everything." No, it's a video that went viral because most parents feel like that. And that is because we were not ready, right, for this.
And how about the parents who are still working essential jobs?
Yeah, they're still working at home, but they still have to monitor how their kids are doing learning online.
Not sure it was very well thought out.
Yeah, and my sister, she's in Orlando. Both sisters are in Orlando. They're having Zoom calls like for hours, but with their kids, they have, they need to like monitor how her daughter is using laptop all by herself. First graders, and one of Andrew is in kindergarten, and both of them have to learn online, and everything's on Google Classroom. And she's like, no, I really can't handle work and having to teach their
Right.
kids
Right. It's
all
not
at once.
It's not realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
actually,
then,
they shouldn't have to, because it's our job to make sure
no,
that
she's saying that the teachers are pushing it because the teachers are saying if you don't submit this assignment, then you're not going to have this grade. You need to make sure you need to submit this assignment. Make sure you finish the online learning. Otherwise,
yeah.
you won't have a grade. And so, my sister is a tiger mom. Hope she doesn't see this
Aren't we
video.
all?
And so she's really grades is everything.
But
Yeah, it's something that the teachers, most teachers don't get. It's not the same. This is remote teaching.
Yeah.
So that means that if you actually upload, homework, you are trying to do classroom teaching.
Yeah, you can't
remote. Yeah, you cannot even get your kids to do homework when they attend your classes. Okay, so now you pretend that they all do it because that's the only way to prove that you have taught and that children have learned and that you get paid. So they have the books, and I have these, okay, I worked for an institution. They are uploading, okay, PDF versions of the book. The student has the book, the teacher has the book, and the screen has the book. What's with that? No, 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 no. Why would you do that? Okay, just do something different, something engaging, because they will get distracted. They will have 1,000 other, tabs opened. They will be chatting with their friends. Okay, and well, we don't want that. We want to keep them glued, and that could be achieved by using many or all of the tools for student collaboration that Dr. Nelly so geniusly selected for this first version. They can collaborate by voice, texting, by writing, and finally here by using everything. And this is your back channel, and this is your proof.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Remote teaching is not the same as classroom teaching. So whenever, like, teachers could assign a lot of tasks, but they need to be aware of how many hours, or time that their students are going to put into those hours. And also, you just can't keep kids in front of the camera all the time. So they really need to be aware of, if they've assigned, for example, Padlet, post a picture, and comment on somebody else's. So what do you think? How much time would the kids need to do this task, complete this task? And that all goes into one lesson. You just have to be aware of that. So do not assign all those tasks and wishing that your students can finish that. It's not the same. So Michael, would you like that? Michael has something to say?
Yes.
Go ahead, Michael.
What you're saying there, Jane, imagine as a teacher, if you go through every single entry on a Padlet board in order to assess it.
Yeah.
The students to do that as well. So they go through every single entry on the Padlet board, all the other people in their class. And that's not feasible. That would take them forever.
When it comes to assessment,
so it needs to be very focused that they need to have a particular.
That's the, well,
task at that?
Unfortunately, we have tests, Michael. We still have tests.
No, but I'm saying the students shouldn't be needing to assess the work of all the other students.
No, they don't assess. They just rate. Oh, okay, this was a great picture for, okay, the feeling that he was trying to portray, okay? For example, okay, and this was not because it does not show me, right? Like that. No.
But
or no, got it? And that is not grading.
no, I'm
You
saying
are forcing your students to collaborate, to analyze, to evaluate all the hacks during your remote teaching.
but
And
if we're
yes, go ahead, Michael.
flipping or blending, then we want the students to do a simple creative task outside the classroom and then discuss synchronously.
Yes, that would be great. That would be great.
Excuse me?
And evaluate
That,
work
please.
with all their classmates asynchronously.
Yes. Well, what about this? All those creative tasks have to be done in class, like here. Look for a picture that portrays.
Okay, so this is
Okay,
done in
how you're feeling right now, right? And that is, okay, look for a picture. And when you post your picture, text me privately the word, I don't know, teaching emotions or something like that. Okay, or look for a superhero that, I don't know, or breakout rooms and discuss and pick one. And then you have to, you know, rotate them like jigsaw. And you can do many things, and that's the great thing. You are doing during class, doing, and when they are away, they have to recall, if you want, with one simple task that is almost the same, but, you know, like the Z+1, a little bit more difficult. And that has to do, has to be done individually, because here they are collaborating, here they are learning from each other, peer learning, collaborative learning. And that's what I think remote teaching is about, from everything I learned on this EVO session.
Well, what I'm hearing is that, I mean, obviously there's a lot of exploitation here. You know, when I was doing Padlets with my participants in Thailand at workshops, and there were live workshops. I did about I've got 8 or 10 Padlets, something like that. And a lot of them are hodgepodges, and some of them were not that well. Let me put it this way: if I did a Padlet and I got maybe 20 responses there, Michael's right. It's very difficult to evaluate that, but you also have to be clear. In other words, I think what I'm leading to is that if you were able to exploit one thing from the Padlet for each student, that the student could take and move into a more productive domain where they could either create something multimedia about it, or a video or a recording, or write something about it. If you used Padlet to seed something like that, that you would then evaluate, you would then get from each student. So it's quite easy to put something on a Padlet board and quite easy to rate other people's Padlets, but to take away some learning, something that goes a little higher up the Bloom's pyramid, then but you could do that. And because also I'm hearing that people are not really, teachers don't really have time to they haven't had time to consider how they're throwing these online tasks onto students. And, you know, obviously they're running up against some reality checks that they weren't aware. They're not really aware when they make, or even, you know, if you're in a brick and mortar classroom, you're making an assignment to the students say, oh, but I just got an assignment in my chemistry class, you know, you're overloading students without realizing. So it's a hard one to grasp, but I think Padlet is obviously very interesting, but you need to somehow take it into a level where learning occurs. And I guess that's what I would do. I would make my assessment would be that each student takes something from that and then produce something that they give me, you know, within whatever parameters I set for them. Yes, Harshita? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hi. So I actually agree with you and Rosemary, because there is an absolutely paradigm shift when you are teaching online. It is not the same as a classroom teaching, that you can throw away a host of activities and homework at students and expect them to complete the assessment, because there has to be a different set of activities that they need to take. And what you're talking about, using Padlet for assessment, I agree, because you know, when there are multiple students and number of students who are using Padlet for an activity, how would you assess and how would you get to know who has actually completed the task? So that is where the website integration of Padlet on your website comes in, when you would have an LMS and, for example, Moodle. And if you have an LMS, you have your students there who log into the LMS and then they attend the activities. And that is how you can actually get to know their progress through the entire course or taking specific activities. And yeah, so basically having a website, an LMS enabled website, where you can have a host of activities and interactive learning happening. You can have subgroups within a class and assign them project work, because when students work together collaboratively, they get self-motivated to complete it. And so that is where the entire use of an LMS, you know, for the learner and the teacher, both happens. So yeah, that's how you can use it properly.
Okay.
Yes.
Jane and I are back channeling here. It's lunchtime. I didn't get breakfast because I was doing this before that. So and we've been going for 2 hours now, almost 2 hours, and I think
wow.
I'm going to.
I'm sorry.
Really, no, I think great, 2 great presentations, and actually I was that was my idea, was to have these sessions and be able to have time to talk to the presenters and find out more about them and get into some discussion. And that's exactly what is taking place. But our stomachs are starting to tell us maybe we should end. And also, we don't want to make the video go too long, because but it's been a very fruitful discussion. And if you want to continue it, you could use Talon, which I could. Let me just grab the screen share a minute, if you don't mind. Okay. So.
And we can use VoiceThread.
Yes, well, you can use many tools. Talon is something that if you want to continue discussing, anybody can grab the site and schedule events anytime they want. And that's just, oops, something that, oh, something's going crazy here. Okay, something that, that would be a way to extend the conversation if you're interested. So I'll I'll put something in the text chat about it. So anyhow, this is part 2 of Learning Together, episode 445. And we're having, these are all being blogged and recorded. And we have another session tonight. In fact, I suspect that Cheryl and Jane, who were supposed to be presenting at about 45 minutes ago, I think they probably got the times mixed up by 12, or maybe I did, I don't know, but anyway, nobody caught it. So possibly they will want to be added later on, but we do have room to squeeze them in, so that would work. But anyway, they're not here now, but that gave everyone, they gave us all time to really have a good discussion. And this is April 4th, 2020, and this is also Best of EVO, the online version. And it's been really great to have everybody here. So let me see if I can get it. Oops.
Thank you, Vance.
Yes, thank you. I'm just trying to grab this Talon links here. Okay, put that in this session here. There we go. Oh, didn't actually.
You have an Apple computer?
Me, I have a PC.
Oh.
Why?
Just use this one, Chrome, because here you can do, download all these little things, like, for example, this one reads the pages for you. This one turns them into Word documents. This one shortens the links for you. This one, let's see. We don't write it.
Oh, we're using my screen share right now, but.
Yes.
Anyway, I think this would be a great thing that you should go to Talon and put yourself in to come and do a webinar for us about all this extra knowledge that you have, which we would really like to benefit from. And I think it's better if we do it in shorter spurts. That's one reason I started Learning Together. They started from 3-day conferences, 72 hours at a stretch, did 3 of them. And I decided we're going to Hey, one thing though, before we go, Jimmy, we haven't heard from you.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Can you say hi or goodbye?
Yes.
Can you take us out of here?
Jimmy.
Hello.
Hello.
I am
Jimmy.
from Peru. Hi. It is Friday. It is Friday now. What time is now you, Vance?
It's Saturday here, but it's in the
Saturday.
morning.
It's Friday here.
Yeah, in Peru, in South America, it's Friday here. Yeah, it's around 11.
Yeah.
11:30. In Vance, where are you? Where are you from?
Oh, I'm in Penang. I'm in Penang, and Jane is in Taipei.
Taipei.
And they are both
Taipei.
Same time zone. It's
Same time.
Where are you guys?
Oh yeah, but what time is it now? Is it Saturday there?
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Oh, Saturday morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right now, it's almost
Friday
night in my country.
Where are you, Michael?
Michael is.
Where are you, Michael?
Where are you, Michael?
I'm in England.
England.
England. Oh, beautiful.
-4 +4. Ooh, dawn.
But Michael,
Right?
it is around 6 morning. Yes, Michael.
And no, +4.
+4.
So
Oh.
almost 4 a.m.
Oh, early morning. Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
early morning.
It's about the GMT
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
in London.
And I saw it was coming up. I thought, oh well, I'll pop in.
Yeah. Why not? Well, it's good to see all of you here.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
good to
thank you.
see
I'm going to bed.
Thanks.
I'm going to bed. I'm going to
Okay.
bed to rest.
Well,
Yeah.
see you in the morning.
Morning.
12 hours
Okay.
from now, we'll be here. We'll be wrapping
Yes.
up. So it's
Yeah.
2 p.m. UTC, a better hour for Michael. And you can find the links at the at our tinyurl.com/best 2020 EVO.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, so I'll see you later, and thank you very much.
See you later.
Thank
it was a
you,
lot of fun.
Vance.
Bye,
Great
thank
to see you.
you.
Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Rosemary, for your sharing. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your sharing.
Hope
Oh,
to
yeah,
see you
yeah,
this
I got
afternoon.
it. Thank you.
And
Did you send the link?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put
I
links
got
in the
Yeah,
text chat here,
yeah.
they will go into
on
the
the chat.
blog.
Yes, I
Sorry,
got it.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
I'm always navigating. Stop the recording. There we go. Bye bye. Bye bye, Jimmy.